Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Gaura Hari Bo Vrinda ki, Shri Radha Gopinatha ki, Grantaraj Śrimad Bhāgavatam ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Oh, glories to Shishi Guru Guranga. Oh, glories to His Divine Graces, Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Grantara Śrimad Bhāgavatam ki. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Śrimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 29, Text 35. Bhakti yogascha yogascha. Bhakti yogascha yogascha. Maya manaf udirita. Maya manaf udirita. Yayor ekatare naiva. Yayor ekatare naiva. Purusha purusham vrajet. Purusha purusham vrajet. Bhakti yogascha yogascha. Maya manaf udirita. Yayor ekatare naiva. Purusha purusham vrajet. Bhakti yogascha yogascha. Purusha purusham vrajet. Bhakti yogascha yogascha. Purusha purusham vrajet.
Bhakti yogascha yogascha.
Bhakti yogascha yogascha.
Maya mana vidirita.
Maya mana vidirita.
Yayor ekatare naiva. Purusha purusham vrajet. Bhakti yogascha yogascha.
Bhakti yogascha yogascha. Yayor ekatare naiva. Purusha purusham vrajet. Bhakti yogascha yogascha. Maya mana udirita. Yayor ekatare naiva. Purusha purusham vrajet. Bhakti Yoga,
Bhakti Yoga,
devotional service.
devotional service.
Cha,
Cha,
and.
and
Yoga,
Yoga,
mystic yoga.
mystic yoga.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Maya,
Maya,
by me.
Manu.
Manavi,
Manavi,
O daughter of Manu.
O daughter of Manu.
Udirita,
Virita,
described.
described.
Yayo,
Yayo,
of which two?
of which two?
Ekatarena,
Ekaterina,
by either one.
by either one.
Eva,
Eva,
alone.
alone.
Purushaha,
Purushaha,
a person.
person.
Purusham,
Purusham,
the supreme person.
the supreme person.
Vrajet,
Rajet,
can achieve.
achieve.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear mother, O daughter of Manu, a devotee who applies the science of devotional service and mystic yoga in this way can achieve the abode of the Supreme Person simply by that devotional service. Purport. Herein, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kapila Deva, perfectly explains that the mystic yoga system, consisting of 8 different kinds of yoga activities, has to be performed with the aim of coming to the perfectional stage of Bhakti Yoga. It is not acceptable for one to be satisfied simply by practicing the sitting postures and thinking himself complete. By meditation, one must attain the stage of devotional service. As previously described, a yogi is advised to meditate on the form of Lord Vishnu from point to point, from the ankles to the legs, to the knees, to the thighs, to the chest, to the neck, and in this way gradually up to the face and then to the ornaments. There is no question of impersonal meditation. Om Jnanat Mirandasya Gyananchana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here Srila Prabhupada begins his purport explaining that the idea of both mystic yoga, Ashtanga yoga, or Hatha yoga, and Bhakti yoga is the same, namely to achieve the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to go back to the spiritual world. In Bhagavad Gita, in one place, Krishna, in the beginning chapters, Krishna is explaining how there is no difference between Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Why? Because Srila Prabhupada is saying one process helps you to find the root of all existence, and the other process is helping you to water the root. So in the same way, when we are speaking about the mystic yoga, like Ashtanga yoga, and when we are speaking about Bhakti yoga, the whole idea of mystic yoga, of Ashtanga yoga, is gradually to achieve such a good mechanical control on your senses and your mind so that you can steadily fix your mind on the form of Krishna. And then this is the beginning of the process of Bhakti Yoga. It is not the end, but it is the beginning. Why the beginning? Because even if you fix your mind on the form of the Lord, still some of the great Vaishnava acharyas, they don't consider this.
Just gonna try to put it a little closer to where you're speaking. It's a little quiet. Okay, on the top of your jacket.
Hare Krishna. So this is not considered really a devotional service from the perspective that one is not engaged in active devotional service. Some of our acharyas, they explain, actually, devotional service means you are doing something practical for Krishna. And then if we go to the definition itself of devotional service, it is said, Ana bilashita shunyam gyana karmadhyana vritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttama. Anu shilanam means devotional service should be active engagement, which is following the previous authorities or Guru Parampara, Anu. So this is the idea of devotional service. You are doing something actively for Krishna. You are, how they say, proactive. You are not just waiting something to happen. No, you are doing something for the Lord. You're doing something for Krishna. But still, this is already a very elevated stage of existence. It's a transcendental level. In the beginning of 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is giving the definition or the standard about performing yoga and following sannyas. Someone here wants to be a sannyasi? No? And do you want to be a yogi? Yes. Yes? Well, I have a surprise for you. Krishna is saying it is the same thing. To be a yogi and to be sannyasi actually is the same thing. What are you going to say about that? Anashrita karma palam karyam karma karotya sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na chakriyaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, this is Bhagavad Gita 6.1, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obliged is in renounced order of life. He is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. Bhagavad Gita 6.2, Yam sannyasam iti prahur yogam tam vidi pandava nahi asanyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana. What is called renunciation? You should know to be the same as yoga, or linking oneself with the Supreme. O son of Pandu, for one can never become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. So sometimes we think, well, to be a bhakti yogi is easy. Yes, it is very easy. But then from other perspective, actually bhakti yoga means renunciation. You, through wisdom and through higher taste, you voluntarily establish yourself in a higher idea. What is this higher idea? Srila Prabhupada is going to speak now in the next part of the purport. But basically the idea that I'm not the supreme enjoyer. Actually Krishna is the enjoyer and I have to help him in his enjoyment. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, when by meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead in all detail, one comes to the point of love of God, that is the point of Bhakti Yoga. And at that point, he must actually render service to the Lord out of transcendental love. Anyone who practices yoga and comes to the point of devotional service can attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his transcendental abode. Here it is clearly stated, Purusha Purusham Vrajet. The Purusha, the living entity, goes to the Supreme Person. The Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entity are qualitatively one. Both are defined as Purusha. The quality of Purusha exists both in the Supreme Godhead and in the living entity. Purusha means? Very good. And the spirit of enjoyment is present both in the living entity and in the Supreme Lord. The difference is that the quantity of enjoyment is not equal. The living entity cannot experience the same quantity of enjoyment as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. An analogy may be made with a rich man and a poor man. Yesterday we heard about this analogy. Do you remember it? Yes. Are you sure? Okay. The propensity of enjoyment is present in both, but the poor man cannot enjoy in the same quantity as the rich man. When the poor man dovetails his desires with those of the rich man, however, and when there is cooperation between the poor man and the rich man, or between the big and the small man, then the enjoyment is shared equally. That is like bhakti yoga. Purusha Purusham Vrajet. When the living entity enters into the kingdom of God and cooperates with the Supreme Lord by giving him enjoyment, he enjoys the same facility or the same amount of pleasure as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, what is Krishna consciousness and what is devotional service? Can you give me a very short definition of Krishna consciousness? Very good. Okay, I'm giving you 10. Yes, one very famous definition of devotional service is, how does the verse start? Sarva upadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. So the first thing one should do is he has to get rid of all illusory designations. We have so many false designations. I am who? I am tall, yes. I am a very good kirtaniya. I am a brahmachari. I am very intelligent. I am better than others. I am so many I am from the material perspective. But all these are false designations. They don't have anything to do with our real self. What is our real identity, position? Okay, Krishna Nitya Dasa, yes. Eternal servant of Krishna. And then when we become situated in this idea, then Hrishikena, Hrishikesha, Sevanam. We have to use our senses to serve the real enjoyer, the real master of the senses. And how does this service starts? From where does this service start? With which of the senses? With the tongue. Yes. Can you give me a verse? Ata Shri Krishna. Ata Shri Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Graham Indriyi Sevan Mukhe Siji Vadao Swayam Eva Spuratyadaha. One cannot understand Krishna through his material senses, but if he begins performing devotional service, and this is what we are talking, he starts his active engagement in service of Krishna. How? By vibrating the holy name of Krishna with his tongue and by eating prasadam. In this way, Swayam Eva, he himself, not someone else, he himself, Swayam Eva Spuratyadaha, he will manifest, he will appear in the consciousness of the devotee. Swayam Eva Spurati Adaha. Spurti, which is manifest. He will appear. So this is one very simple definition of what is actually bhakti. We have to use our senses to serve the master of the senses, and we begin with our tongue. That's why we say that the essence of the whole practice of bhakti yoga for this age is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is the essence, this is the most important. Everything begins with chanting. So now devotees sometimes they have this dilemma, this, not really a doubt, but wondering in their mind. So actually, what is more important in the process of devotional service? Shravanam or Kirtanam? What is more important? I mean, if we come to the process of devotional service, direct processes, we know the verse says, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and so on and so on. So maybe it starts from Shravanam, but then we say, no. Wait a minute, the process for this age is Harinam, 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 Kirtanam. So which one? Which one is the most important?
Shravanam has to come first.
Shravanam has to come first, okay?
Otherwise there can't be any Kirtanam. So in that sense they're very related. But
Okay,
also,
that's an easy way to come out of the question.
but also it's said that Kirtanam is more powerful, and thus Sukadeva Goswami, or the speaker of Bhāgavatam, got even more benefit than the listener, the hearer of Bhāgavatam. But first he had to be here, and then he could be a speaker. And Srila Prabhupada says that something. The speaker gets more benefit.
The speaker gets more benefit. So what do you think, dear devotees? Kirtanam. How are you going to chant if you don't hear? Bhaktafiyu is saying. So it's a logical argument. So what we are going to do about it? Which one is more powerful?
There's a verse that says that you could get self-realized by hearing Bhagavatam. And a self-realized soul, so it has to be.
You can get self-realized by hearing Bhagavatam. I agree with this. I can quote the verse even. It's a very famous verse from the prayers of Lord Brahma, 10th canto. He is saying, Gyane prayasam udapasam nayante namantaeva Jivanti sat mukaritam bhavadiya vartam stane stita shrutigatam tanuvan manobir ye prayaso jita ajito taistrilokyam. If one simply gives up all mental speculation and stanestita, he just stays in the position where he is, whatever is his situation. If he is grihasta, be grihasta. If you are brahmachari, be brahmachari. If you are sannyasi, be sannyasi. Whatever you are, no need to change your external position. Only thing you have to do is Shrutigatam Tanuvan Manobir. You just have to simply listen the pure Krishna Katha. And then the result will be Jita Ajito. The person who never can be conquered, he becomes conquered. So, yeah, Bhaktafiyu has a serious point. What you're going to say about it?
Can't find a reference for what I'm looking for.
Well, I can ask then, why every day we are going out and chanting Hare Krishna? Why don't we just go somewhere and sit and read Bhagavatam? Why not reading Bhagavatam?
Because all the people, even if they mock us or, they're hearing, and it has its potency, it has the effect, it plants the seed for these thousands of people walking by every day.
So actually we are giving them the opportunity to hear.
Yeah.
To hear about Krishna, to hear the holy name of Krishna. Okay. Yes, very good. Something else?
Krishna said people who give his message out are very dear. So we're making him happy. All the people who go in the street are making him happy because they're spreading his message.
Yes, they'll get benefited. By spreading the message of Krishna consciousness, people knowingly or unknowingly, they'll get benefited. They'll get spiritual advancement. Okay? Yeah, I mean, Srila Prabhupada didn't wanted us to stay in one place. He wanted us to go out and give the mercy to the people, yes? But you see, like I remember some years ago in my Christian background, with Bhaktarayan, we are coming from a Christian background. Maybe we were living in some monastery in our previous life. So what are the Christians doing? Like what is the way to preach? Very much kind of known to us. They just go outside somewhere and they get the Bible and they start reading the Bible and quoting from the Bible and surrender to Jesus. In Matthew 5:22 it is said this, and John 6:37 is saying this. Yes? So maybe we can do the same. Just take Bhagavatam and go on the Atlantic Barclay Center and just surrender to Krishna. Because in Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, it is said, Tasmat Bharata Sarvatva, Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari, surrender to the Lord. What do you think about this? Why we are not doing this? Why we are just going out and chanting Hare Krishna? It's a very simple answer.
People wouldn't be attracted.
Well, both have the same potency. The Bhagavatam transcendental vibration and the transcendental vibration of the Holy Name. It is the same vibration. There is no difference. But why we are especially going out to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Bingo. Yes. This is what Mahaprabhu told us to do. And Srila Prabhupada came and he said, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants us to do Harinam Sankirtan, chant Hare Krishna. And we are saying, okay, yes sir. If Srila Prabhupada would come and tell us you have to go with Bhagavatam every day and just quote to the people Bhagavatam verses, we will do that. Of course, we are giving Bhagavatam to the people. And especially Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he had a serious statement about that. He said, this is also Kirtan. This is also Kirtan. Actually, this is the Brihat Mridanga, the big Kirtan, because the message of Bhagavatam can be heard to, like, very far away. The Mridanga can be heard maybe 200 meters, 300 meters, 400 meters. The message of Bhagavatam can be heard like it can go from one continent to the other. Today you distribute book to someone in New York, he's from Brazil, he goes to Brazil and suddenly people in Brazil start reading this book and they become Krishna conscious. So both are there, and when we are speaking which one is more important, Shravanam or Kirtanam, well, both are very important from a different perspective. Shravanam is very, very important because we cannot start the process of devotional service without Shravanam. First you have to hear, then you can start chanting. But chanting is more important from the perspective that this is the age for, this is the process for this age. This is what Mahaprabhu said. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. This is the process for this age. So that's why we are chanting. But all these elements, they are actually part from the same process. They are part from the same process. Then we have another famous definition of what is devotional service from, again from 10th canto of Śrimad Bhāgavatam. Lord Brahma is saying, it's a very famous verse, Tatteinu kampam shushamikṣamāna bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam hridvagvapur bir vidada namaste jiveta yo mukti pade sadaya bhak. So what is the essence of this process? Well, two things. The first thing is, we are going to suffer in this material world. So while we are suffering, we should not be grumpy, we should not be angry at Krishna, why you put me in this situation to suffer here. We should understand, no, wait a minute, whatever I am going through now actually is because I did it. These are the reactions of my activity, so no one else is at blame. Actually, I am the bad guy. And some amount of suffering will anyway come in our life. Well, we have to just tolerate it. That's one part of the deal. Then the second part of the deal is Hrid Vagvapur Bir Vidada Namaste. We have to, although going through difficulties in the life, we have to continue to, with our words, with our mind, with our body, we have to continue offering our obeisances to Krishna and rendering devotional service to Krishna. And in this way, Krishna is saying, someone who is acting in this way, actually Lord Brahma is saying, someone who is acting in this way, he will buy Krishna. With his activities and with his attitude, he will buy Krishna. Krishna will become his property. And that's why he has the right to straight go back to the spiritual world. So this shows that there are two elements which are very, very important in our practice of devotional service. One is to be properly engaged with our body, to do something active for Krishna, as we said, to do Harinam Sankirtan, to distribute books, to cook for Krishna, to worship Krishna on the altar, do all these kind of activities. Now, while we are doing these activities, we should do them with the proper mood, with the proper attitude. If the activity is there, but the proper attitude is not there, is this devotional service or not? You tell me.
It's devotional service maybe, but it's mixed with...
Okay, it is devotional service, but it's mixed devotional service. Can you give me an example how it is mixed devotional service? If your mood is not right.
It's called Jnana Mishra Bhakti. So sometimes when we do Bhakti Yoga, their intention is somewhat to please Krishna, but they also sort of have a desire to elevate themselves spiritually. And through austerities and through, study of the scripture and through these jhana practices. So then they sort of want to serve Krishna, but they also are wanting to serve themselves a little bit by being elevated.
Okay, yes, very good point. Is it possible also to be not at all devotional service? If we are apparently doing some service for Krishna, but not with the right attitude, with the right mood.
Yes, it is possible.
How is that? Can you give example?
If the goal is, for example, liberation or merging with Brahman, there are many people in India who worship Shiva, Narayana, Vishnu, Krishna even, but they don't believe in Krishna. They believe in Nirakara Brahman.
Very good point.
They want to become Krishna. So we don't accept these people as Vaishnavas. Although they will claim they are Vaishnavas.
Very good.
The same sadhana as us. They wake up early, take shower, do their puja, chant Hare Krishna with them. But their goal is different.
Okay, very nice. What about Kamsa? Kamsa was performing devotional service?
No.
No or yes? No, but he was constantly thinking about Krishna. I thought thinking about Krishna is one of the process of devotional service.
I thought you said in the beginning that thinking about Krishna wasn't a process, only serving Krishna was a process.
Favorably.
Oh, okay.
Thinking favorably.
Thinking favorably. Oh, and cool, okay. So that's the missing point. Okay, yeah, very good point. Yeah, so basically we can do some activity, and apparently this activity may be externally considered a devotional service, but if the right mood is not there, this may not be at all devotional service. You may be getting some pious credit out of it, but it may not be devotional service. Like, for example, someone may come now here at the door and says, "Hey, I don't have anything to eat. Give me some money. I want to work something." And some very merciful Vaishnava is saying, "Okay, I'll give you $20, but I wanted you to clean all the corridors and the reception lobby and clean all these things, and then I'll give you some money." Okay, so he will do this, and practically this is the temple of the Lord, isn't it? But he'll just do the job, he'll get his money, and he will leave. So externally, apparently, he is doing the activity, but actually his motivation is completely different.
Doesn't it all count to some degree, though? Like I forget the term, but even if someone's making fun of the kirtan party, they still get transcendental credit.
Yes.
For chanting,
Yes.
even though they're mocking.
Yes. Doesn't it count as some kind of devotional service? Yes, it does count as some kind of devotional service. You get some benefit out of it. But still, because his mood is not proper, he doesn't have the right attitude that actually he is performing devotional service for Krishna, he will not get much benefit out of it. In the case of, let's say, Kamsa or Hiranyakashipu, even less so. They will become purified. They will become purified from their sins. But they are not actually performing devotional service. Why? Because devotional service should be performed with right attitude, with the right mood. Yes?
So, in that relationship, how would we explain Putana, who had wrong intention, but Krishna accepted as devotional service? So even above and beyond Gata Sukriti, where someone's acting without intention, someone who's acting with malevolent intention actually was counted as devotional service and she achieved liberation.
What about the case of Putana? I mean, she wants to kill Krishna. Is this devotional service? You want to kill God. Is this devotional service? Well, the case of Putana is very, very special because she had two things at the same time. She had the desire to kill Krishna, but she also had a very strong attraction to Krishna. And Krishna just did not pay any attention to the bad side, he just took the good side. That was the special position of Putana. We know there's like a, how you say in English? A story before the story. What is the word?
Prequel.
Huh?
Prequel.
Okay.
Equal backstory.
Yeah. So basically, Putana, she wanted to have very close relationship with Rama, I think. But she didn't have this opportunity. And then she developed the desire to actually kill him. So these two desires, they were present at the same time. So Krishna, as Bhavagrahi Janardana, took only the essence, only the desire of appreciation. That's why she got Sarupya Mukti, actually. She went to the Vaikuntha planets because she had appreciation of the form of the Lord. But anyway, the point is that if the attitude is not right, this won't be pure devotional service. It can be either mixed devotional service, or it may not be at all devotional service. So this point just shows that we have to be very conscious how we are engaged in devotional service and what is our mood behind. As Pandava Prabhu said, the mood should be anukul. What means anukul? Favorable. What does it mean favorable? Yes. Favorable means you are doing it because you want to give pleasure to Krishna.
And according to instructions, right? Authorities.
Yes. Correct. According to the instructions, according to the authorities, the mood should be favorable. So actually, this is what Guru Parampara means. Guru Parampara means if you become part of a parampara, disciplic succession, you have to take the activities of this Guru Parampara, like in our case, we have our Guru Parampara coming from Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and they establish the activities. Okay, we are a preaching movement, we have to chant Hare Krishna, we have to distribute books, we have to open temples and maintain them, have very gorgeous deity worship. They establish the activities, but then they give a very specific mood. So actually, when we read the books, when we read the especially the purports of Srila Prabhupada, we should try to catch the mood, to understand. There is a very specific mood that Srila Prabhupada has. And like if we associate with those devotees who had the great fortune to have the association of Srila Prabhupada, or they associated with persons who were very close to Srila Prabhupada, we can see they got the same mood. The same mood is there. And sometimes you may speak with someone who is a Vaishnava and who is a very advanced and very pure, and while you're speaking with him, you suddenly start to noticing there is some difference, something is wrong. This is not exactly the mood of Srila Prabhupada. There is some difference. So both things should be there, the proper activities and the proper mood, the proper attitude. then we are properly established in following Guru Parampara. And this is very, very important, because if we don't do that, like now we have this great responsibility. We have to take the message. The message is like a fruit. And now we are the fortunate souls to receive this fruit from the previous acharyas. Now our task in life is we have to keep this fruit uninjured, like a wholesome, protected very nicely, and we have to pass it down to the next personalities. This is our task. And whatever we learn in the beginning of our life, we have to properly learn the activities and the attitude. Whatever we learn, then very, very, very carefully we have to pass it to the next generation. And in this way the Guru Parampara will continue. Otherwise, what is saying Krishna in Bhagavad Gita? Sakale neha mahata yogonashta parantapa. Otherwise, with the time, the disciplic succession as it is, the knowledge as it is, became lost. So this is our responsibility to understand actually what is bhakti, what is pure bhakti, and try to give it as it is. And even if we see that we are not completely qualified, even if we are lacking somewhere, no problem, no problem. Don't change the package. Keep the package as it is. And even if you see you have some personal disqualifications, what to do? I mean, we are not like ideal personalities like Srila Prabhupada, like Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But don't change the package. Keep it as it is. And give it. And maybe the next person who will take it, maybe he is the chosen one. Maybe he is the next avatara. He will make the great revolution, as Srila Prabhupada did and so many others. So just keep the things as they are. As Srila Prabhupada said, if I have any qualification, my qualification is I did not add anything from me, and I am not taking out anything from these teachings. I am just giving the teaching as they are. So we have a little more from the purport. On the other hand, when the living entity wants to enjoy by imitating the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his desire is called Maya. And it puts him in the material atmosphere. A living entity who wants to enjoy on his personal account and not cooperate with the Supreme Lord is engaged in materialistic life. As soon as he dovetails his enjoyment with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is engaged in spiritual life. An example may be cited here. The different limbs of the body cannot enjoy life independently. They must cooperate with the whole body and supply food to the stomach. In so doing, all the different parts of the body enjoy equally in cooperation with the whole body. That is the philosophy of Achintya Bheda Abheda. Simultaneous oneness and difference. The living entity cannot enjoy life in opposition to the Supreme Lord. He has to dovetail his activities with the Lord by practicing Bhakti Yoga. So what is Maya? What does Maya mean? Illusion. So I'm illusion, you are illusion. Prasadam is illusion.
No, prasadam is not illusion.
What is Maya? When we turn away from Krishna.
The desire to enjoy by imitating the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay, the desire to be on the place of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Maya. Yes? Very good.
What can be measured is Maya.
What can be measured is Maya. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Okay. Yes? That which is not. Okay, we have heard. That is Maya. Okay, what does it mean, that which is not? Yes, Prabhu, you want to say us? Maya is Krishna energy, Krishna's energy, yes, correct. So what does it mean, that which is not?
Anything seen independent of Krishna. So if you see something aside from him, like this is mine, or this is, I'm going to do this
Okay, very good. You are just going right to the center. Yes, that which is not. So we perceive this energy of the Lord as meant for our sense gratification, but actually is meant for the pleasure of Krishna. So the moment you see everything around us as meant for us, this is called Maya. And more particularly, the definition given in Chatur Shlokya Bhāgavatam, the second verse is saying, when you see, what is the word? Substance or value in something, but you don't see how the value is actually coming from its connection with Krishna, this is Maya. Do you understand? You see something is very valuable, but you don't see that it's actually valuable because it's connected with Krishna. You see it as valuable separately from Krishna, without its connection with Krishna. This is called Maya. You see a food which is very valuable because you like this specific food, but you don't see the value of this food because it's connected with Krishna, because let's say it's offered to Krishna. This is Maya. You are very knowledgeable, but you don't see the connection between the knowledge you have with Krishna. This knowledge will be Maya. You are a family person, you have a wife, a kids. You don't see their connection with Krishna. This will be Maya. If you see the connection, it will not be Maya. It will be Krishna conscious vision. There is a famous statement of Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, another statement of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj he had some problem, I think, with his vision, if I'm correct. Then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wanted to bring him to Calcutta for treatment. And then when Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj heard, he said, Calcutta, I'll never go there. Never go there. This is like the hub of Kali. Kali is residing there. I'll never go to Calcutta. And then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said this to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. What is the reaction? At that time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was living in Calcutta. So when Bhaktivinoda Thakur heard about this statement, he just looked around and he said, Kali? Maya? Where is? I don't see any Maya. I see only Vaikuntha, only the spiritual world. Why? Because he sees everything in connection with Krishna. So if we see everything in connection with Krishna, there is no Maya. Maya means we see value in things without they being connected with Krishna. This is Maya. And then the last part of the purport. It is said herein that one can approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead by either the yoga process or the bhakti yoga process. This indicates that factually there is no difference between yoga and bhakti yoga, because the target of both is Vishnu. In the modern age, however, a yoga process has been manufactured which aims at something void and impersonal. Actually, yoga means meditation on the form of Lord Vishnu. If the yoga practice is actually performed according to the standard direction, there is no difference between yoga and bhakti yoga. So if one takes that yoga means meditating on the Supreme Lord, then it becomes equal to bhakti yoga. If karma yoga is taken that it means activities which are meant for the pleasure of Krishna, it will become equal to bhakti yoga. If jnana yoga is taken as acquiring knowledge that actually help you to understand the supreme position of Krishna, it will be equal to bhakti yoga. But if not, then this process they will be inferior. Hare Krishna, thank you very much for your attention. Yes.
Thank you for the class. I have one comment, two questions. I just found like a nice purport, and I should lecture on chapter 2 of the first canto of Bhagavatam, verse 14, Tasmad Ekana Manasa. It says in that verse, De Puja Chanitida, and you're talking about the relationship is hearing that somebody's chanting. And then when we hear a chant, there must be meditation. If we attentively hear, there must be meditation. And puja means worship. So these performances that we're doing are 64 items. And this is it. They must be done with one pointed intention without diverting your mind from any subject matter. Sometimes that's qualification, the two buses. And then the first question was we were talking in the beginning on Manasa Puja. We were talking about Manasa Puja, the idea of worshiping Krishna in your mind. I have the example in the nectar of devotion of the Brahmana who burns his pinky finger in meditation on offering things to the Lord. But you mentioned how when the yogis meditate on Krishna, this is not devotional service according to our acharyas. You would say it's Shanta Rasa, it's not truly devotional. So you maybe qualify when meditation on the Lord becomes a devotional anga. And when we also talked about with Kamsa, is Kamsa thinking favorably, unfavorably about the Lord? And even the, whether he was thinking favorably, unfavorably determined whether what he was doing was devotional service. So if you could qualify that, I'd be interested in that. That's my question.
So the question of, okay, let's start with Kamsa, the case of Kamsa. We have the definition of pure devotional service, which is Anavilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhakti Ruttama. So in order one activity to be accepted as devotional service, three components should be there. And if they are not there, this activity cannot be accepted as devotional service, according to Sri Rupa Goswami. So which are those three? First one is, it should be activity according to Guru Parampara, Anushilanam. Then it should be meant for Krishna, not for someone else, for Krishna, or avatars of Krishna, or pure devotees of Krishna. But Krishna is the object. And then the mood that you are doing this activity should be favorable, Anuku. These three should be there, then activity can be considered devotional service. And if one of them is not there, this activity is practically not considered devotional service. And I think in Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada gives example with the worshippers of Buddha. Worshippers of Buddha, they worship Krishna. And their mood is favorable. But actually, they are not doing it according to Shastra, because they don't accept Shastra. And because of this, Srila Prabhupada is saying this cannot be accepted as devotional service. Although externally it looks like the same. I mean, you have incarnation of the Lord, bona fide incarnation described in the Shastra, Buddha himself, and they are worshipping it with love and devotion. How is this not bhakti? I cannot understand. What is the problem? The problem is one of the trees is missing, and this is not based on previous acharyas, it's not based on Shastra. So that's why this is the case of Kamsa. Then the next one, you gave this example from Nectar of Devotion with this Brahmana. He is performing devotional service because these three are there. Yes? He's doing it favorably, he is following authorities, he heard from authorities this bona fide practice, so he's doing it, and he's doing it for the pleasure of the Lord, so it is devotional service, and in fact it was very high devotional service. But, and in his case he did it in the mind, but it was not neutral devotional service. It was actually active devotional service. Just he didn't do it with his physical body, but he did it with his mental body. And that's why he achieved the result of going to Vaikuntha. Now there are other ones, like the yogis, they may meditate on the form of the Lord, but they don't want to do active service. They just... Huh? Yes, so they want to merge. Or they just get happiness from fixing their mind on the form of the Lord. That's already gives them unlimited bliss, unlimited pleasure. But they don't have the idea to become active in their connection with the Lord, which is already Dasya Rasa. So it's one level under. It's neutral relationships with the Lord. Like many living entities in the spiritual world, they have this rasa. With Krishna, they are totally happy with this. But generally our acharyas, they are advising that no, we want to actively serve the Lord. They are not telling us, no, it's just enough to go in front of the deity and just stare at Krishna for 8, 10, 12, 15 hours. Generally, they don't advise us to do this. No, they are advising us, no, do something for Krishna. Do something. Like Srila Prabhupada was saying, work now and samadhi later. So samadhi will naturally come, but now you have to do something. Practical activity for Krishna. This is bhakti, this is devotional service. Is that okay? It's okay? Okay. If we don't have anything else, thank you very much. Grantara Śrimad Bhāgavatam ki, Śrīla Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hare Krishna. But if it's too philosophical, it's not a good question for prasadam. Only if it's middle.
I just thought of a question.
Yeah?